Right, people, how to draw a traditional, neo-traditional kind of style lantern. I'm going to be using Procreate. You can use normal paper, you can use pens, pencils, paints, whatever you want. Any real differences, I'm going to be using red. And on here, I have a symmetry tool, so it's going to draw both sides at the same time. If you're doing this on paper, I recommend just drawing a little line just down the centre. Then what you've drawn on one side, just copy exactly the same in reverse. But yeah, here we go. So I'm going to sketch rough shape. So an old school lantern, you kind of want this kind of shape. So create a line at the bottom, line coming out at a slight angle. You're going to want a circular part just coming at the top. Maybe one or two above that. One down, coming down, and a nice little feature at the bottom. So you've got a circular sort of, semicircle part, a little block coming to a point. Create lines there, and then just there we're going to divide this up. So we want the front glass bit clearly on show. Now bring these lines up because I'm going to make a little feature just kind of in those kind of areas. But yeah, that's the basic structure for these kind of ones. So I'm going to bring a little line here just to sort of shape it off. Just to shape it off. And now we're going to go in with the detail. So symmetry on again. So I'm going to bring up solid line. Coming up those parts. Straight line just on these parts. Like so. Now on the inside sections we're going to have another line just coming up. Very close and parallel to those lines. The top and the bottom. Let's bring that line up straight. Line across. Another line. Another line there. So you can see the lantern shape starting to build up in that centerpiece. And now I'm just going to do some detail here. So where this comes up, I'm going to curve this down, curve back in, curve around. So a simple shape, so we curve it up, curve out, curve up to the point, curve out, curve down, join it up. So you just got a nice kind of like feature area just there. And I'm going to bring in this circle shape, done. So perfect semicircle there. And I'm going to keep curving, changing it slightly as we go towards the centre. See, so just putting up that circular shape of lines. Right, each one's going to do a thinner line, like so. On top of this bit, it's going to create a little symmetric line just following that shape. Another one on top of that. Going to curve inwards a little bit, curve across, and then curve to the top. I'm going to create little curved lines just going all the way across here. And then curve up and turn to a point, just to create a nice tip to the lantern, just there. So that's the top bit done. Putting those lines just there. Create a little diagonal line coming out a little bit, just there. Come in, bit of a diagonal line, and follow that shape again. Come down. Come across, and then from underneath we're going to create a semicircle. I'm going to curve that out, create another line, another symmetric one, another symmetric, and similar to that top part, it's going to create that teardrop at the bottom. So you can see we have the basic shape now. Let's create a line coming up, curve in, curve the little line above. It's just where the candle is going to be. Can't have a lantern without a candle. It's going to turn the symmetry off now. Just while I do this little flame on the inside. So we're going to curve around, curve back, then curve up to a point. Going to come to here, bounce that circle, bounce to there. Create a little line just curving across. Now we've done that, it's going to create a new layer, select black, hard airbrush like a pen, and I'm going to go over all that line work. If doing this on paper, I highly recommend using something like uni pen fine liners, or if you want it to be like really classic old school, you know, you could always bring out a Sharpie. It's nice and bold. Just quickly copy this in place. Merge those. I'm just going to put that symmetry again just to speed this up. So just going over all the line what we just done. And just going to draw these boxes. Excuse me. So you can see it's starting to really come together now. Last few little bits before I do the thinner outline details. Just going to make that line a bit thinner now. Just going to put in some of those smaller line details. So those lines we've done just in line with the thicker lines here. These little curved lines. Lines just there. And again, just do some curved lines. Meet up in the center. And lastly, just going to follow this curve. Like so. And on this I can just turn that symmetry off again. Just do the inside part of the candle now. Grab some droops with the wax. Send off those sketch lines now. So you've got a nice clean one just there. I'm going to go for a soft airbrush now as we shade it in. Now, doing this on paper is one major difference between digital and paper. When I shade in here, I'm going to shade across like this, and then I'm going to erase off the areas I don't want. If you're doing this on paper, just don't go over the lines. Just shade like you normally would. So that's some trying actually, so I get nice and matching bits. So I'm going to go black on the back part here, going inwards. And now just erasing, cut a bit of my line off. So anywhere that kind of falls inside the lantern, you're going to erase. You don't want those bits in there. I want that nice and light. Just putting a bit of black shade just here on the inside of that block shape. And similar just on the outside there. And you can see the key patterns of the way I'm shading it, you know, from the outside inwards. Let's create a new layer. So a bit of black just here at the top. Just on the bottom. And quite similarly on top, so black coming across this bottom part. Going to leave a little space, just so you got like this kind of highlight in the centre. Like so. Similar here, just a little black edge, just that little line part we just done. And a little bit of black just on the outside parts there. Lastly, just a little bit just on this inside part, just stretching out. And that's all the black work done now. Just going to create another layer. Give me a nice yellow. This yellow in that. Getting a soft eraser, I'm just going to blur out. Bit on the sides. So basically want that yellow more stronger around the candle. I'm going to select an orange. Ooh, too big. Just colouring that flame. Like so. Little orange highlight just around the top of the candle. Just some of those little drippy bits. And there you have it. That is pretty much how to draw an old school lantern. You can put different colours on. I like them quite black. You could have them green. You could have sort of brownish sort of tones. You could have roses in the background. You know, there's plenty of ways of modifying them. But this way you can't go wrong. I love these. I love them this way. So yeah, I hope you liked it. Comment, like, subscribe. Check out my videos. And The Broken Puppet. And I'll see you next time. Peace.